Here is something hunters and pest control specialists refuse to admit out loud. The break barrel airgun platform is dying. PCP rifles now dominate 70% of online sales. The industry has essentially written off the spring piston Magnum as a relic of a simpler time. Yet the most capable long-range shooters in the world, including those bound by circumstance or ideology to reject pneumatic inflation pumps, still trust one specific category of weapons to put game down at 50 yards with surgical precision. If you want to understand why, keep watching, because today we are ranking the 5 most brutally effective break barrel Magnums available in 2026. And we are not holding back on the power, the specifications, or the uncomfortable truths about why these machines demand respect. Number 5 on our list is the Benjamin Trail Nitro Piston XL, and it is here for one specific reason: raw practicality in the real world. Unlike the Hatsan platform we will encounter later, which demands the strength of an adult male to operate, the Benjamin Trail offers what we call the Goldilocks experience. Pick it up. It weighs approximately 8.5 to 9.15 pounds. The polymer stock, constructed from glass-filled nylon using automotive-grade materials, absorbs recoil like a shock absorber on a truck suspension rather than fighting it. When you chamber a projectile and pull the trigger, the mechanical sensation is almost musical. There is no spring twang or metallic rattle. Instead, the nitro piston gas ram produces a linear, predictable cycle that feels like the air itself is being tamed, rather than released in chaos. Now for the honest assessment. The Benjamin Trail does sacrifice absolute power for operational simplicity. We are not talking 33 foot-pounds of energy here. The XL generates approximately 20 to 24 foot-pounds of energy, adequate for raccoon and coyote control, but it asks the shooter to place shots with precision, rather than relying on energy to do sloppy work. Here is what the numbers actually tell you. At 22 caliber, this rifle will push a standard Diabolo projectile to 900 feet per second. Alloy variants will exceed 1,100 feet per second, though we do not recommend them for hunting due to transonic instability. The nitro piston gas ram liberates you from a massive advantage that traditional spring platforms cannot claim: temperature independence. Whether you are waiting in a frozen deer blind in January or concealed in summer heat, the trajectory and velocity remain identical. A compressed spring changes its tension with ambient temperature. The gas ram does not. The architecture deserves attention. The Weaver/Picatinny rail system, standard on modern Benjamin models, prevents scope creep entirely. No more fighting with a 9mm dovetail and hoping your optic stays mounted after 50 rounds of Magnum recoil. The integrated rail accepts any modern tactical or traditional scope design without adapter hardware. The Whisper Fusion sound dampening system wraps the entire barrel length, reducing acoustic signature by 70% compared to open barrel designs. For pest control scenarios where you might take multiple shots from one location, this is the difference between alerting the entire warren and slipping away unnoticed. Here is the detail that separates this rifle from every other Magnum in this category. It actually works in harsh weather conditions. No frozen springs to weaken, no pressure variance from cold. Just consistent ballistics whether you are hunting in the Sonoran Desert or the frozen north. The damage to your budget is remarkably restrained. Street price hovers around $140 to $170, making this the only Magnum class platform most shooters can justify buying for both primary hunting and backup duty. Sends projectiles downrange with enough authority to break the will of pest animals from 40 to 50 yards out. The Benjamin Trail is the utilitarian answer to a question that has plagued the airgun market for decades. Can you have raw power and operational simplicity in one platform? The answer, for 90% of hunters, is yes. This rifle delivers. Number 4. Reshapes everything you think you understand about break barrel design. The Gamo Swarm Magnum Pro 10X Generation 3i is not just a rifle. It is a revolution disguised as a magazine-fed platform. For 3 centuries, the break barrel Magnum suffered from a singular architectural limitation. It fired one shot, then forced the operator to eject the projectile, dig through a pouch to locate another round, and manually place it in the chamber. This cycle, lasting maybe 5 seconds, cost hunters entire opportunities. Gamo decided to eliminate this limitation entirely. What they created with the GAN-3I inertial loading system is nothing short of genius. Hold this rifle. At 6.88 pounds without optics, it is the lightest Magnum platform in existence. The glass-filled nylon polymer stock feels almost metallic in its rigidity. Yet the integrated shock-absorbing geometry, combined with the triple-axis recoil-reducing rail system, creates a firing cycle that feels stable and almost serene. The horizontal magazine sits flush to the rifle body. Unlike older rotating drum systems that stood proud of the chassis, this design allows standard rifle optics to mount directly above the action without obstruction. The trade-off is mechanical complexity. The GN-3I inertial loading system, which uses the recoil energy from the previous shot to automatically cycle the magazine, is revolutionary, but adds moving parts. While Gamo engineered this system to extreme tolerances, any user who prefers single-shot simplicity might find the magazine mechanism unnecessary. The numbers validate the concept. The IGT Mach 1 gas ram system uses a 33mm cylinder to achieve 1,300 feet per second with alloy projectiles and 1,000 feet per second with standard Diabolo rounds. Peak energy output registers at 24 joules, approximately 17.7 foot-pounds of energy, which places it firmly in the medium-heavy Magnum category. What matters more is the magazine capacity, 10 projectiles without reloading. For pest control operations targeting high-density populations of squirrels or rabbits, this means theoretical magazine-fed capability that brake barrel designs never previously achieved. The inertial loading mechanism operates through pure recoil physics. After the initial shot fires, recoil energy is captured and converted to rotational force that advances the magazine one position and strips the next projectile into firing position. No manual intervention required. The Whisper Fusion dual sound dampening system wraps the barrel completely, reducing acoustic signature to levels approaching PCP rifles. For scenarios where you need to take multiple targets without triggering massive alarm responses from nearby wildlife, this engineering choice changes the entire tactical equation. Think about this scenario. You are positioned on a field margin at dusk. One rabbit breaks cover. Your shot connects. Instead of fumbling to reload while the rest of the warren scatters, you bevel to the next animal and fire within 2 seconds. Gamo turned the brake barrel platform into something that actually competes with PCP multi-shot systems. Sets you back somewhere in the range of $350 to $425, depending on vendor. Launches 22 caliber projectiles with flat trajectory precision out to the 50-yard mark. The Gamo Swarm is not for traditionalists who view brake barrel purity as sacred. It is for operators who recognize that every limitation represents an opportunity for innovation. Number 3 holds a title that no other brake barrel platform on Earth can claim. The Weihrauch HW90 is the only Magnum rifle that lets you tune its fundamental engine performance on the fly. And that changes everything. Imagine owning a rifle where every variable you consider when selecting ammunition can be inverted. Instead of asking what projectile matches my rifle, you ask what projectile do I want to use, and what air pressure maximizes its ballistic profile. This is not theoretical posturing. This is what the Weihrauch HW90 enables. When you hold the HW90, you are touching 7 decades of German firearms engineering heritage. The walnut furniture feels timeless, not rustic, but understated. The balance point sits perfectly between your hands, making unsupported offhand shooting genuinely comfortable, despite the Magnum class power contained inside. But the real sensation lives in the mechanical interface. The breech mechanism cycles with absolute smoothness. There is no grinding sensation, no spring stress audible, just pure mechanical precision. The critical limitation is this: you must possess specialized equipment to adjust the rifle. A Theoben-compatible pump and pressure gauge are required, items you cannot improvise or substitute. This creates a barrier to entry for casual users, but ensures that owners are genuinely committed to mastering the platform. The Theoben gas ram system inside operates fundamentally differently from every other gas ram design. Rather than sealed, pressurized nitrogen, the Theoben uses an external Schrader valve port, the same technology found on car tires. Through this port, you pump air directly into the system using a specialized pump. At maximum safe pressure, typically around 230 psi, depending on caliber, the HW90 generates over 20 foot-pounds of energy in .22 caliber. More importantly, you can dial this back to 15 foot-pounds of energy, or adjust it forward depending on what your specific hunting scenario demands. The Elite trigger system was engineered specifically to handle the extreme static pressure from the gas ram. Unlike the legendary record trigger found on spring-powered Weihrauch rifles, the Elite uses hardened sear geometry rated for this abuse. The lock time, the microscopic delay between trigger release and projectile exit, is exceptionally short. This reduces the shot-induced tremor that causes wide groups. Combined with the ability to tune air pressure, you can theoretically dial in a projectile weight to velocity combination that performs identically to what competitors achieve through trial and error testing with dozens of ammunition varieties. This is for the shooter who views ammunition testing not as a chore, but as a craft. The HW90 transforms break barrel hunting from finding the right projectile into engineering the ideal ballistic solution. Expect investment levels between 670 and 1,440 Australian dollars for premium aftermarket variants. Pushes .22 caliber rounds with whatever velocity profile you engineer into the system. Weihrauch HW90 is the platform for shooters who believe rifles should challenge their operator to achieve mastery, rather than simply pulling a trigger and hoping for favorable ballistics. Number 2 is the definition of understated danger. The Diana 350 Magnum Premium is a rifle that refuses to announce its lethal capability through marketing hyperbole or tactical aesthetics. It whispers instead of screams. German firearms manufacturers approach design philosophy differently than every other nation. They ask not how powerful can we make this, but what is the ideal balance between power, precision, and longevity. Diana answered that question in 1983 with the 350 Magnum. 43 years later, this rifle still defines what a break-barrel hunting platform should accomplish. The moment you shoulder the 350, the difference becomes obvious. The walnut, typically high-grade European beech or walnut, feels like it belongs in a fine furniture collection rather than a tactical armory. The checkering on the pistol grip and forearm is sharp enough to provide genuine purchase in wet conditions while maintaining that aesthetic refinement. The rifle weighs approximately 8.5 pounds, but the weight distribution makes it feel lighter in the field. Point it downrange at a 40-yard target, and the balance transforms shooting into an almost meditative experience. This is not a rifle that fights you, it collaborates with you. The 350 generates between 22 and 25 foot-pounds of energy at .22 caliber. This places it below several other entries on this list for absolute kinetic energy transfer. Shooting this rifle at raccoon or coyote at extreme range demands perfect shot placement, specifically headshots rather than body cavity penetration. The long stroke compression design differentiates the Diana from higher-powered alternatives. Instead of cramming maximum air pressure into a compact cylinder, Diana engineered an extended piston stroke that allows air pressure to build gradually and consistently. The result is velocity in the sweet spot range, 890 to 900 plus feet per second, with standard Diabolo rounds. This subsonic, well below the 1,125 feet per second sound barrier, velocity profile prevents the transonic turbulence that plagues hypervelocity projectiles. Groups remain impossibly tight at 50 yards. The T06 trigger system is genuinely legendary among airgun competitors. It stands alongside the record trigger from Weihrauch as the finest match-grade trigger mechanism ever integrated into a break barrel platform. Two-stage design, fully adjustable breakpoint, minimal creep. The 350 allows shooters to execute what is called artillery hold positioning, essentially letting the rifle recoil freely in your hands without muscular interference, because the trigger is precise enough that you trust it absolutely. The 350 is the rifle selected by shooters who measure success by group size rather than muzzle velocity. In 26, as environmental regulations tighten and hunting seasons compress, the ability to place 3 shots inside a circle the size of a dime at 50 yards matters infinitely more than claiming 33 foot-pounds of energy on a ballistics chronograph. Watch your wallet. This rifle commands premium pricing, typically $400 to $600 depending on your vendor and wood selection. Sends 22 caliber heavy projectiles with ballistic precision, rarely seen outside of dedicated target rifles. Diana 350 Magnum Premium is the choice for hunters who inherited their philosophy from a different era, one where quality was measured in decades of reliable service rather than megabyte specifications and social media hype. And number 1 is not even a close competition. The Hatsan Mod 135 Vortex QE is simply the most powerful break-barrel Magnum platform ever manufactured for the 22 caliber format. Full stop. Break-barrel rifles generate force through one fundamental mechanism: compressing air. Yet somehow, Hatsan discovered layers of optimization that competitors missed. When you shoulder the Hatsan 135, weight registers immediately. This rifle, without optics, weighs 9.6 to 9.9 pounds. The Turkish walnut furniture is not decoration. It is ballast. Solid, dense, uncompromising ballast. Then you attempt to cock the rifle. At 50 to 60 pounds of cocking force, it demands respect. Many shooters cannot manipulate this breech alone. This is not a casual platform. This is a specialized tool for dedicated hunters only. The Vortex gas ram system uses a 30mm piston, the largest in any break-barrel platform. The volumetric displacement is approximately 7% larger than competing designs. In cylindrical compression mathematics, a single millimeter of additional piston diameter compounds dramatically. The result is 33 foot-pounds of energy in 22 caliber. Standard projectiles achieve 970 feet per second. Heavier Diabolo ammunition, specifically JSB, exact heavy at 18.13 grain, generates 29.4 foot-pounds of energy at 853 feet per second. This performance envelope places the 135 at the absolute threshold of ethical hunting for larger fur-bearers like raccoon and opossum at 50-yard ranges. The shock absorber system dissipates recoil vibration across multiple frequencies. The quiet energy barrel system integrates internal sound suppression, reducing acoustic signature by roughly 50% compared to open barrel competitors. Here is where the Hatsan claims its uncontested throne. No other break-barrel platform can reliably generate 29 foot-pounds of energy in sustainable hunting conditions. This crosses a psychological threshold in the hunting community, the barrier between airgun and legitimate hunting rifle. At 50 yards, with proper projectile selection and shot placement, the Hatsan 135 becomes a tool that actually competes with .308 bolt-action rifles for terminal ballistics. That capability, achieved through pure spring and piston engineering, is fundamentally what separates this rifle from everything else. If you want the raw truth without the marketing fluff, expect investment between $400 and $700 for a quality example. Launches massive 22 caliber heavy rounds with authority that commands immediate respect from any target species. The Hatsan Mod 135 Vortex QE is the absolute peak of break-barrel Magnum engineering in 2026. If you want the raw truth without the marketing fluff, lock it in right here for more deep dive airgun analysis that actually matters. Keep your air tanks full and your aim true. Subscribe for the content that refuses to compromise on technical accuracy. Shoot straight, get prepared, and subscribe so you never miss a breakdown that actually respects your intelligence. You have invested this time into understanding break-barrel engineering. Do not waste it by missing the next analysis. Subscribe. Want the uncomfortable truths about airgun platforms that the industry refuses to publish? Lock it in right here.